LeBron James. In this episode of Badass Brand Breakdown, I'm talking about my guy, the king, LeBron James. I will talk you through some of the key elements of his brand to help you get a better understanding of how branding actually works. Let's go. Welcome back. I'm Liz Marie, a brand strategist and creative director working with women and BIPOC entrepreneurs to overcome chaos in their brand, get clear, level up, and take on the world. It's pretty sweet. So let's get this out of the way. LeBron James is my favorite basketball player. I'm not saying that he's the greatest of all time. I'm not even gonna get into that argument, but he is my favorite. He's a 4-time champion, 4-time MVP, 17-time All-Star, fucking badass. And he is also a master of personal branding, like definitely one of the GOATs. More than probably any other NBA player, LeBron James has mastered his image. He has built an incredible brand, a very, very, very successful brand, a very profitable and wealthy brand. And he has done it differently than other megastars have done in the past. So obviously Michael Jordan has Jordan brand, which is fucking insane and huge and worth so much money. But LeBron took a totally different approach to building his brand and his business. And it really laid a foundation that the next generation of athletes and stars and even businesses have learned tremendously from. There are a few key criteria to how LeBron's approach is different. First, he really embraced branding and the media. He is extremely calculated about his image. He knows exactly what he's doing. He learned how to speak to the media and how to strategically make moves to control his own narrative. Other athletes haven't quite been so successful at that. They have either immediately gone at odds with the media or not really recognized the power of your own brand. LeBron understood that at 17 years old. He has also focused on building partnership with other brands. Michael Jordan, for example, built the Jordan brand as a division of Nike, but that's been the bulk of his wealth of his brand. LeBron took a totally different approach. His strategy business-wise has also focused way more on building partnerships with other brands that allowed him to kind of spread his influence out versus solely his own owned name and his own owned business. Finally, LeBron was a game changer in this generation, this modern era of using his platform for good. So this is the biggest contrast you see with someone like Michael Jordan from a branding standpoint, who refused to get involved in politics or issues of social justice. LeBron is an extremely vocal activist for the issues that he's passionate about, and he set the tone for other athletes of this generation to not shut up and dribble as he was told, and to really use their platform for good, use their influence to create change in the world. So let's break down some of the components of the LeBron James brand. Now, while some brands may set out to create this strategy, I'm not sure if LeBron did. It has definitely been calculated over time, but he may not have started out with this brand blueprint document. So we're kind of reverse engineering what those things might have been. Now, while you're building your personal brand, you might set out in the beginning to say, this is my strategy and this is the message I want to communicate. We don't know if LeBron did that. I would imagine he definitely had those checkpoints over time, but when he first got started and he was just a young kid, I think these things came naturally. And that's often the case with the personal brand. Your personality, your own values, your own interests come out over time, and then you can shape them strategically into something that makes sense business-wise. And now he has become so much more calculated over the past 17, 18 years to where I think every single move he makes is deliberate in alignment with those values, with that message and that strategy, but he probably didn't set out to achieve that right at the beginning. What is LeBron James' why or his mission? I would say it's to inspire greatness. He actually uses the message to empower greatness for one of his media companies as their clearly spelled out mission. And I think that is kind of the through line through his entire brand, is about showing you that anything is possible and making people believe they have greatness inside of them. His core message from a conceptual standpoint would probably be King James. That has been his moniker, his nickname, his identity since he first came on the scene, self-proclaimed king, and he has really embraced that, and it has kind of carried through all of the things he's done from a achievement and success standpoint. But the tagline that he uses most often is just a kid from Akron.
I'm LeBron James from Akron, Ohio, from the inner city. I'm not even supposed to be here.
So he's from Akron, Ohio, from the inner city. He comes from really humble beginnings, and he uses this phrase and this narrative repeatedly to demonstrate the trajectory and the journey, the hero's journey that he has gone on in his career, to help us believe that we too can accomplish our goals if we work hard enough and just believe in ourselves. So just a kid from Akron kind of counteracts this King James, which is a very royal and regal bravado type of moniker, to say, you know, yes, I have reached the pinnacle of success, but I started, you know, way down here as just a kid from Akron. And that dichotomy is really central to his brand. Now, support messages are kind of the pillars of your brand. What are the proof points that demonstrate how you do things differently or how you bring that brand to life? As his brand has grown and evolved over the past decade or two, so have his support messages. So today, if you look on his website, he organizes it into the philanthropist, the businessman, the man, and the athlete. Those are the 4 roles that LeBron plays in his personal brand. I think this is an awesome way to organize or think about your personal brand in terms of the roles that you play in your life or even in your business for your customers, your clients. So all of the things he does align with one of those categories, and those are the things he's trying to bring to life in all of his actions in real life and strategically with his marketing and branding. In terms of brand personality, LeBron is the quintessential hero brand archetype. It is all about achievement, inspiring greatness, strength, perseverance, determination, hard work, all of the classic hero brand characteristics. And for more on brand archetypes, you can check out my video on it. I'll dig into all 12 of them. But the one unique thing about LeBron that kind of differentiates him personality-wise from someone like Jordan or someone like Kobe or other really, really huge megastars in the NBA is that he also has this playful aspect. People will say that he doesn't have the killer instinct, and you can see in his style of play that it is much more inclusive than, you know, me. And you also see that off the court, he has a very playful, silly side. He has a lot of fun while he plays. You can tell that he doesn't want to do it if it's not fun. And that is just as important as his competitive nature. So that's a different element you don't always see in the hero brand. As I alluded to earlier, what's most notable about LeBron's legacy and his brand is his activism. He has extremely clear brand values that he is really living out in his actions at often great risk to his own livelihood or great controversy. He comes under fire quite a bit, and he proactively puts himself in those crosshairs to speak up about anti-racism, about social justice, about other political issues that are really important to him. Some of his brand values are anti-racism, equality, inclusivity, of course, perseverance and hard work, but also this element of being yourself and doing it your own way. He talks sometimes about playing basketball the right way, and he talks about the man in the arena, a famous speech that advocates this idea that you're the one working hard and you're always gonna endure criticism, but you have to remain true to yourself. All right, let's talk about the visual side. Ever since he first partnered with Nike way back in the day, LeBron has had a very iconic logo, his initials plus the crown, and that is really the central point of his visual branding. As he has been on different teams, from the Cavs to Miami, to the Cavs again, to the Lakers, some of his own visual identity has changed in terms of jerseys and colors and that type of thing. A lot of his brands are really hinged on using black and white and just classic sleek athletic aesthetic. Now, every personal brand or every really iconic figure, celebrity, whatever it may be, has a few things that they're known for. So LeBron is known for his chalk toss at the beginning of games. He's also known for his celebration where he does this like leg thing. That was probably really loud. He also has kind of an iconic gait he's known for, chase down blocks. There are certain things about his mannerisms and body language that have become known and imitated and kind of celebrated in the world of sports. All right, here's the big piece. Let's talk sub-brands, brand partnerships, brand activation. All of the things where you take the ideas behind your brand and actually bring them to life in the world. LeBron has his hands in a lot of pies. From a sub-brand standpoint, he has many companies, many endeavors, from the LeBron James Family Foundation to Spring Hill Entertainment, which is his media company, Uninterrupted, which is all about promoting this idea of athletes using their voice in social change. He's one of the founding investors and biggest brand ambassadors for Blaze Pizza. He and several other celebrities and athletes created the brand Ladder. And of course, he has many brand partnerships. So the biggest of all would be Nike. It is reported he has a lifetime deal with Nike for God knows how much money. And so he has his own signature shoe, many of them, that has been incredibly lucrative for him. But he has also partnered with Coca-Cola, Sprite in particular, with McDonald's. He is also an investor in Beats by Dre, in the whole Beats company, and even brands like Walmart and GMC. He's done sponsorship deals or partnerships or endorsements with. But LeBron has taken this even further than your traditional sponsorship athlete brand relationship, because he has become an investor in many of these brands and also extended his influence into media. He was first seen as an actor in Trainwreck. He created the show The Shop on HBO, and he's behind several movies that have recently come out or are in production. So the biggest one being the sequel to Space Jam. I have mixed feelings about it. Space Jam was a huge part of my childhood, but it is going to be a huge blockbuster without a doubt. And also a film called Dreamland about the Tulsa race massacre of Black Wall Street that is directed and produced by my college friend, Salima Karoma. Shout out to Salima, she's fucking awesome. So his production company is behind that and really lending their weight, their resources, and their voice to a lot of creators out there putting content into the world. And then finally, one of the biggest examples of his activism is with the I Promise school in Cleveland. He partnered with the public school district to create a special school specifically for kids at risk and at disadvantage, whether that was economically or socially, and really created a whole ass school. He was not the first to do this. Jalen Rose also did this, so shout out to Jalen Rose. But it was an incredible example of using his power, his money, his foundation, all of these things to actually create real change. And they're giving scholarships to students through college, they're giving meals, like really reshaping the lives of all of these students at their school. So when it comes to your personal brand, you can lay out all of the strategy you want, but it really also comes down to your real life actions. And you can see this in good ways and bad when it comes to LeBron James in things like his activism, like the I Promise school, but even in negative things like his decision announcement to go to Miami, which was a real point of contention and a point of crisis for his personal brand. And that just came from choosing to go about something the wrong way. And it really put his personal brand into question. His subsequent success in Miami and then the decision to return to Cleveland and become this hometown hero where he brought them their first championship, and it was just an incredible, iconic sports moment, cemented him as that hometown hero and counteracted all that bad juju that he got from the decision in most people's eyes. So you can see that your personal brand isn't just about the stuff that you put out, the content you put out, the endorsements, the partnerships that you have. It is actually highly dependent on your real life actions. And it should be. It's about your reputation, it's about your character, it's about how you treat people. And so you need to be just as mindful about all of those things and make sure that your real life actions that bring your brand to life are aligned with the message you want to put out there and the strategy that you're implementing to build your brand. So that's it for my guy, LeBron James.
LeBron James.
I hope you learned a little something about how branding actually works in practice through the lens of my favorite basketball player. Until next time, stay badass. All right, y'all, if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff down there. And check me out at LizMarieStrategy or LizMarieStrategy.com.